her 4th season. It was a humiliation not to be borne with any grace. She released the sigh she refused to air in the company of the others, and made her way to her chamber door. Though an accommodation of many charms, its beauty failed to distract from the folded piece of parchment lying on her dressing-table. It bore her name scrawled in the self-same hand as had the monthly missives Lord Northrup had sent her for nigh on 2 years. Why her papa had seen fit to have this one forwarded to Dance Hall, she could not fathom. He was well aware that she had long given up on reading the Earl's letters. They always proved to sink her into a black mood. She was tempted to ignore this one, as she had most of the others, but a quiver of misgiving caused her some hesitation. With a shaking hand, she took up the folded parchment and broke the seal. Miss Lloyd-Jones, to whom I have remained true. I have longed for even a line from you during my months abroad, but have received not one. Perhaps your neglect for my comfort is fit punishment for the wrong I have done you in warning away your previous suitors, as well as any who might have made their intentions known after my departure. What more can I do than to most humbly beg your pardon? It is my intention to call on you in the very near future. I anticipate our meeting with great delight, and pray that I find you in good health. Yours as ever, Northrup. It was as she feared. The Earl had returned to England. Annalisa sank onto the bed as the parchment fluttered from her hand. Dance Hall was a matter of miles from her country home. If Lord Northrup had done as intended, he had surely been informed of her whereabouts. A deep and abiding hope for a substantial storm filled her heart. She went to the window, and her heart sank at the sight of a cloudless blue sky. Suddenly faint, she sank into a chair before her legs entirely failed her. She was strengthened by the thought that followed. If the weather held, Mr. Charles Wainwright would surely attend the practice ball, known as the Folly Bolly, to be held directly after supper. She suspected that he admired her, a sentiment that was steadfastly returned. His rich brown locks and eyes so dark they appeared to be black haunted even her dreams. For the past year she had whiled away the hours, imagining every detail of the gown she would don for the wedding, or conjuring the possible appearance of their sure-to-be numerous children. And yet, despite long looks of admiration too numerous to count, he never had so much as bespoken a dance. She entertained hopes that a house-party would encourage his attentions, all of which she was determined to receive with as much wit and charm as was at her disposal. The very notion caused her spirits to soar, until, with a groan, she discerned why he had failed to so much as engage her in conversation in all the time she had known him. Lord Northrup had forbidden it. Visions of the far too many balls she had endured from her chair, as she hid her humiliation behind her fan, rose into her mind. She supposed Lord Northrup was responsible, as well, for the lack of gentlemen callers, gifts of flowers, and invitations to ride in the park, all of which had dried up like the Red Sea at parting these last 2 London seasons. An incipient rage threatened to overtake the last shreds of her equanimity as she contemplated all she might say to Lord Northrup, and at the first opportunity. She rose to her feet and paced the floor as she worked out each insult, only to cast aside one after the other. It would never do for her to be overheard speaking with such animosity. She would be most distressed if, as a result of her loose tongue, Mr. Wainwright were to form an unfavourable opinion of her. She took a deep breath and examined her reflection in the glass. She mustn't allow her secrets to be revealed in her face. She was distracted from her scrutiny when her Abigail, Ruby, scratched at the door. Annalisa bade her enter, and together they began the process of doing up her hair for the evening's Folly Bolly. "Miss," Ruby said as she took a lock of mahogany hair and twisted it this way and that, "begging your pardon, but are the fine gentlemen to stay the night elsewhere as they did during the last year's house-party?" "But of course, Mrs. Smith is nothing if not an eccentric hostess," Annalisa said with a fond smile. "She does not approve of young ladies and unwed men sharing a roof. She feels certain this can lead to no good. I must, however, give her credit for her many successes. Her parties result in a veritable crop of marriages."